It's just me today because I'm going to be explaining my story about my cochlear implant. Also, I'm just going to be signing for this video, and then later I will record my voice so you can hear my voice too. I was born deaf, and my twin brother was born hearing, so I'm the only person in my family who's deaf. In the hospital, every baby has a hearing test, and I failed mine. And then we went back for a second hearing test, and I failed again. And the doctors told my parents that I had a profound sensory neural hearing loss. And that means that I am completely deaf and I don't hear anything. My parents decided to start getting involved in the deaf community, and they went and met and interacted with deaf people. They had a deaf mentor come to their house and taught them sign language, and they started to pick it up. And then they started teaching me as a baby. I started signing around 6 months old. And I signed simple signs like mom, dad, more, things like that. My parents started researching about cochlear implants. They were curious and started looking into it. They asked deaf people if they thought that cochlear implants were good or bad. But the deaf community has a strong hatred against cochlear implants. They don't like them. They told my parents that you don't love your daughter, you want to change her, you don't love your daughter for who she is. And my parents were torn and devastated, and they said that we love our daughter, we want to give her every opportunity and give her everything we can. The deaf people said, you should wait until she's older and she can decide for herself if she wants a cochlear implant. But the problem with that is that the doctors said that it is best to implant at a young age because their brain is able to learn languages better and learn how to speak and hear. When you're older, your brain is already developed and it's harder to learn how to hear and speak. My parents were going back and forth on whether or not they should give me a cochlear implant or not, and they were torn. But they decided to go ahead and give me a cochlear implant. Their decision was that we will continue to give Emilee the option if she grows up. So if we implant at a young age and she grows up and is successful and she's able to hear and speak, she can stay on that path and she can hear and speak and be involved in the hearing world. But if she grows up but she doesn't like speaking and hearing and she prefers to take off her cochlear implant and be completely deaf and sign and be more involved in the deaf world, then my parents would support that decision. So I had a choice to stay hearing and listen and speak, or I could pick to take off my cochlear implant and sign and be involved in the deaf community. I feel supported in both ways. I'm grateful for that decision because I love living in both worlds. I enjoy speaking and hearing. I met my husband through the hearing world. But also I can be involved in the deaf community too, and that's nice being able to feel connected there as well. I got my cochlear implant surgery when I was 18 months old. At that time, Utah had just approved 18 months. So I was the youngest at that time to receive a cochlear implant at 18 months old. After receiving my cochlear implant, I had to go to the audiologist and attend speech therapy to learn how to hear and how to speak. I did auditory verbal training for 5 years. I had to work hard to learn how to speak and how to connect that with sound. We'll show some clips of me during speech therapy, so enjoy those.
Sue, do you have a sheep?
Yes, I have a sheep.
Yay! 1, 2, 3.
Yay! That's right. That's right.
That is a little one. That's a big one.
Shusha. Shusha.
The audiologist and speech therapist told my parents to stop signing with your daughter because she wouldn't be able to learn. She will use sign language as a crutch, meaning that she would rely on ASL and not learn how to speak. My parents were puzzled and they said, no, we want to keep communicating with our daughter, so we will continue to sign with her and speak. My twin brother, he also needed to learn how to speak, so my parents spoke and signed at the same time. Later, during speech therapy, the speech therapist noticed how ASL helped me learn how to speak. For example, the speech therapist would speak some instructions to me and I would sit there and not know what to do. My mom would interpret through sign language and explain what to do, and I was able to understand and perform the task. I was able to do what the speech therapist wanted me to do. The speech therapist recognized that ASL could serve as a bridge and help me learn how to talk. I strongly believe that the reason I speak well today is because I already had ASL as a foundation. I had an experience in learning a language, and I had that foundation. And that helped transition into learning how to speak. So I am so grateful that I was able to learn ASL. I'm so grateful for my cochlear implant. I'm grateful for the opportunities that my cochlear implant has given me. I love both worlds. I love being involved in the hearing world and meeting people there, but I also love being involved in the deaf community too. I'm grateful I can be involved in both. I could go into more depth about many topics regarding cochlear implants. So we're planning on making more videos that will go more into depth and explain more about different topics. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we can answer your questions. Thank you. We're excited to see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.
Oh.
What's that?
Water.
Water. And that's a bowl. A bowl. A bowl of water.
Water.
Who lived in the bowl of water? Who lived in the bowl of water?
Bushes.
Yeah.
We're going to put some froggies in the water. Okay? Okay. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay. Hop, hop, hop. Ooh. Mommy's turn.
Hop, hop, hop. Ooh.
My turn.
Good.
Pot. Pot. Okay, put out waters.
She said, can I put it in the water?
Ooh. in the water. Jump the frog in the water. Okay, put them together. What is that?
Cows.
A cow. A
Cows.
cow.
Cows.
Yeah, that's a cow.
You have cow?
I don't have a cow. Go fish.
Go fish. That's good.
Push.
Hey, Emmy, do you have
You put it
a sheep?
a sheep.
Give it to mommy. Give it to mommy. You have a sheep.
You are a
I have a
sheep.
sheep.
Give it to mommy.
Thank you, Sammy.
Bye.
Thank you.
You got Sammy.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Okay.
One. We put him in a pile.
You cut it.
Oh.